Here we are. Hello. Can everyone see me and hear me? I have my tea here. I saw that, who was it? Someone said, oh, Julie said, got a hot drink and a custard donut. Oh my goodness, you made me so jealous, Julie. I feel like I'm going to need to go and look for a donut after this. But I've got my hot drink and I'm ready to play. I don't think custard donut and playing the harp at the same time would be a good recipe for anything, but oh, it's so nice to see so many of you in the chat and to see familiar names and maybe some names that I don't know as well. And just wonderful to be here with you. I used to do live streams really often on YouTube, and I've always enjoyed them. So I'm really glad to be doing this again. So can you hear me? I see lots of people are saying hi and telling me where in the world you are, but I still need to hear if you can hear me and see me clearly, because it always feels like a bit of a faith exercise when you live streaming. You're kind of just hoping that that it's all working. Okay, Melody says, yes, we can hear you. That's good. And I see we're in so many places in the world. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Pauline said hello from Scotland, and we're in Canada and Belgium and Ohio and Houston and Michigan and Indiana, more Canada, New Mexico, Florida. We're all over, and some people have already been asking for your song requests. So you can have a look in the description box. There's a link or a list of all the early intermediate songs. I just decided, let's focus on a level, and it can be inspiration for those of you who also play the harp, that actually early intermediate pieces can be really beautiful and relaxing to listen to. Oh, great in South Africa. That's Kevin, my brother-in-law, and our head of web here at Learning the Harp. So that's cool that you're watching, Kev. And Carl is in southern Spain, and we're in Australia and England, all over Chicago, Louisiana. Wow. So great to have you all over. And thanks so much for joining. Tell us do you have a hot drink with you? Are any of you joining me with some tea? I should take a sip. Vietnam. Wow, that's awesome. Welcome. Kevin and Cara, my sister, and their little baby Jacob are going to visit Vietnam, I think in March, because Kevin's sister is there. So that's cool. There, Kevin just put it in the comments. My sister lives there. Okay, Laurie's got some coffee. Oh, Megan, my other sister's watching with little baby Luca from Croatia. That's so cool. Hi, Luca. Yeah, Rhode Island. Pumpkin spice coffee. Oh, that's lovely. It's the time of year for that, isn't it? I need to get another one of those. I had a couple when I was in the US in September, because they were just coming out then. It's just that time of year, but I think I need to get one around Christmas time as well. Okay, so maybe I need to play a song, and then I'm also just happy to chat with you all today. So if you have any things you want to say in the comments, or any questions or anything like that, I'm here to chat, drink some tea, and play some relaxing music. So I hope that whatever you're busy with today, someone said this will be a nice way to end off my day, kind of wind down. Maybe that's someone in Australia. Or someone else was saying, oh, this will be lovely to listen to while I'm driving. I'm a truck driver. So I hope whatever you're doing today, that hearing me chatting away and playing some relaxing harp songs will be a lovely addition to your day. And it's just wonderful to spend this time with you. So there's so many people who have already put in their requests. So probably I'm not going to be able to scroll back through the chat every time. So it might just be that whenever I'm looking for the next song, that's when you need to put your requests in. And so you might need to paste them over again each time if you really want your song to be played. So let's see some requests now for my first song. So I don't have to scroll all the way back and find all the requests. I did see Cyrielle asking for Skyboat's song, but I feel like I want to do another one first. So I guess I also get a say in which songs I choose. Oh, Roland's Toot Toot said, Mary, did you know? Kevin's saying Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I feel like I will do Mary, did you know? And I will do Skyboat's song, because I'm open to doing Christmas songs, but I think Beauty and the Beast is a good one to start with. I really love playing that arrangement. So let's go with Beauty and the Beast, and then we'll take it from there. Kevin's so happy that he got his he got his request. Woo, you won. Let me take another sip of tea. That's the only thing, is when I'm chatting and playing, there's not a lot of time for sipping. Hey. Okay, got to check my levers are right. All right. I do have a little thread sticking out of my sleeve here, and I felt like I should cut it off so it doesn't distract everybody. I do have some scissors here. Maybe let me do that quickly first, because I remember there have been times when you've got curly hair, there have been times when I've had like a curl sticking off going sideways, and I can't see it when I look in the mirror, and I think it really has distracted people in courses sometimes where there's just a piece of hair that is sticking off in another direction, and it's hard to take me seriously. So I thought I better cut off that string. Okay, here's Beauty and the Beast. Oh. I love playing all those rolled chords in this one. Those are my favorite parts. Just really like that. Sometimes it's a little tricky to see which note to play, which particular chord. Like I almost played the wrong one when there was an A minor, A minor 7 there. But that one is really fun to play. So thanks for the request, Kevin. Cyril said, I'm just starting my day and this is wonderful. Nice way to start the day with some harp music. Alania says, this is the one I'm looking forward to learning the most. I really do recommend this one. This is one of my favorites to play because it's not, because I can play more advanced things. This one isn't very difficult for me to play, but it still just has that lovely twinkle to it that you want to get from Beauty and the Beast. Hi, Jacob. I see my little nephew Jacob is there now. So Jacob and Luca are watching. Oh, hi, Celia. I actually was somehow, I think I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw your face pop up. And I was thinking, I wonder how Celia's doing. And I went and had a look on your Facebook page, and I saw that you were were you at a summer school with Anuna? And it was so cool because I did that in Dublin a few years ago, I think back in 2013. So lovely to see you. um, Welcome to all the people who are still joining now. It's lovely to see your names popping up in the chat, Donald, and welcome Diane from Texas. Ginger says also Beauty and the Beast is also one of Miriam's favorites, so that's awesome. Okay, so I think I noticed someone asking for Annie's song. And I've already promised Skyboat's song and Mary Did You Know. So I think we should do Skyboat's song next because that was the first one that I mentioned, but I just didn't feel like it was right to start with. So maybe let's do Skyboat's song now. I should actually I have an index at the beginning of my binder so that I can find the songs more easily because I can see the order and I can see what songs I have in this binder. This is my early intermediate arrangements binder. So this is only for early intermediate arrangements from learning the harp, but I think it would also help if I had little tabs on the side so I could just flip to the song more easily. So maybe I'll do that for next time. Okay, so we've got to get our... This is quite a nice one because even though it's early intermediate, we use some good bass notes in this arrangement. Sometimes with late beginner or early intermediate arrangements, because we're trying to make it possible for people to play on smaller harps, sometimes those arrangements don't use a lot of the low notes, but every now and then we use those low notes and we just tell the people with small harps to play it an octave higher. And that's the case with this arrangement, so it's quite fun. Okay. And this one is a fun one. If you haven't seen the music video, you should go and have a look at that because we included some bagpipes in the music video. And I took my harp to Chapman's Peak, Chapman's Peak Drive is a wonderful place in Cape Town. You should actually look up some photos from there. Chapman's Peak Drive, and with a lovely view behind me. And we got a friend of Kevin to help with to bring a what is it called when you have a camera flying? A drone, to bring a drone so we could get some cool shots of the scenery. And that video, it was quite a hot day. It was very bright sunlight, and it was a little difficult with all the backlight to get exactly what we wanted, but it was a fun memory filming that song. So you might want to have a look at the music video. There we go. It feels like my harp might be going slightly out of tune. I did tune it just before starting, but I suppose that's one of those things. I have a string up here that I had to replace just a little while ago, and they can take a bit of time to kind of stretch out and kind of fix the rest of your harp sometimes. But anyway, yeah, Julie's saying, I love the Skyboat song, especially as the bagpipes are playing. It's a classic song for bagpipes. I think it's one of their like standard repertoire. So it's really lovely that we could include that. Hi, Katerina. Good to have you here. Thanks for popping by to say hi, even if you can't stay. And Connie, welcome. Yay. Oh, there's so many people saying hi. Hi, Polly. Good to have you as well. Okay. Yeah. Musical Marion saying it's quite nice to hear the lower register more. That's great. And I think we should look for let's get some more suggestions for the next song. I do still need to do oh, Sound of Silence. That's a good one. I still promised Mary Did You Know? So hopefully you aren't all anti-Christmas music in November. But sometimes I think that there's some such beautiful Christmas songs, and we don't play them year round because I certainly feel a bit embarrassed when I was playing at the hotel restaurant twice a week. I would feel a little bit embarrassed to play a Christmas song even until December, because I felt like, I don't know, felt like people wouldn't like it. But it's sad because we put so much practice into playing them, and there's some beautiful arrangements, and it's nice if we can take the opportunities to play them. Especially Mary Did You Know? It's got that lovely atmosphere to it. Okay, so I'm going to do Mary Did You Know? And then I'll do Sound of Silence after that. Thanks for the suggestion, Jemberly. Okay. Oh, Celia's saying I was at the Celtic World Forum arranged by Eva McMahon in Ireland. Oh, okay, cool. But I saw you were with Michael McGlynn, which is why I thought it was related to Anuna. But that's really cool. Do you have an arrangement? I don't think we have one for Flower Duet, but that's a good one. I think we're taking suggestions at the moment for songs for the next set, because we currently have planned out until February, but for the March, April, May arrangements, we're currently taking song suggestions, and then we're going to be voting. So make sure that you send us an email if you don't know where to put in your song suggestions, Marion. And I think Flower Duet is a nice suggestion. Okay. Mary, Did You Know? There's actually a video on the YouTube channel of me singing that song as a, I don't think that one was a duet, no, but I sang it dressed as Mary. Or was it a duet? I think it was. I think I sang a line and then Joseph sang a line, etc. So if you're interested in seeing that, that does exist on the YouTube channel. That was from, there's a carol service that happens every year at Kirstenbosch Gardens, which is one of the most beautiful places in Cape Town that I grew up going to a lot and kind of playing in the river and catching tadpoles. It's just a really beautiful botanical gardens. And then in the botanical gardens is this amazing amphitheater where they put on like big concerts, because I think it can seat like, I don't know how many thousand people, maybe a few thousand people. And then once a year, they have this carol service that goes on for a few days. And they always have a little like nativity that happens there. And they asked me to be Mary and to sing a song with Joseph. And then I think I sang a song on my own and he sang a song on his own. And they have like, the little ballet dancers coming and being the angels and all that kind of thing. And then everyone gets to sit there with their picnics and just enjoy the beautiful mountain around and sing carols together. And then you all get candles, although I don't know if you actually light real candles anymore these days because I think it was a bit of a fire hazard. So I think they might do just glow sticks now. And then when it gets dark, then we all sing Silent Night and wave the glow sticks around. And it's really a fun thing. I feel like I need to go this year now that I've convinced myself that it's a wonderful event. But anyway, there's a video of me at Kirstenbosch Carols singing Mary Did You Know with Joseph. So we said that we would do Sound of Silence. And then I'm going to look for some requests again. So if you get your timing right, I'll see your request and then then yours could be next. It's disappearing from me when I want it. You raise me up. Sound of Silence just before it. Okay, there we go. I should check in with the chat though. How are people doing? Jeanette's asking, how much do you play from memory versus sight reading? Well, today it's all reading sheet music. When I perform a concert when everybody is watching me and it's like a sit-down concert, I like to do those from memory because I like to be able to, especially when I'm singing, I like to be able to look up at the audience. Also, when I sing and play, usually those are arrangements that I've made up from chords, and there's sometimes sheet music doesn't even exist for those. So yeah, when I want to really be able to look out at the audience and there's just a certain number of songs that I'm going to do, I've made my set list. I really like to do those from memory if I can. But when I'm playing as background music, and I'm going to be playing for quite a while, I used to play twice a week at the Vineyard Hotel in Cape Town, and I would play 3 sets of 45 minutes twice a week. And so I had some songs that I would play from memory, but it's just easier to have the sheet music there. It also kind of reminds me of what songs I know and that type of thing. But sometimes in South Africa, we have load shedding where the electricity goes out because there's actually not enough electricity for our whole country to use all at the same time. And so if it was load shedding and suddenly I couldn't see my music, then I would just play whatever I knew from memory. So I do a bit of both. These songs I really should know from memory because I taught many of them in courses, or I did music videos where I needed to know them from memory. But I don't keep them as part of my current repertoire all the time. So I haven't refreshed them enough to remember them properly right now. So it's just safer for me to have the sheet music here today. Julie said, my husband says I'm playing the song very well. Is he listening from the other room and he thinks it's you playing? You can tell him, yep, just having a really good day playing my Jolie harp. Teresa says hi from Kentucky. People are enjoying it. Do you feel like you have to relearn your Christmas music every year? Yes and no. So if I've learned a song well, then when I have to relearn it, it's definitely much quicker than if I was learning it for the first time. But I don't feel like I can just pick it up and play without refreshing at all at Christmas time, depending on how easy the song is. So I played Oh Holy Night, even just a little snippet of Oh Holy Night for something on Instagram. And those downwards arpeggios, especially with my Jolie, it's a different tension to when I was playing it on my Ogden last year. And I found to get those downwards arpeggios nice and even, I would need to put in a bit more practice. So honestly, I think that little recording I did on Instagram could have been better. So those kind of things where there's just like moments that are tricky, or you really have to get your fingers into the zone. Those definitely take a bit of practice every year. But I also like to learn new things. So this year, we have some new arrangements coming out with learning the harp. So the one that we've already released, White Christmas, there isn't an early intermediate level, so I'm not playing it today. but that's so lovely. So if I was performing somewhere, I would definitely be playing White Christmas. So then obviously I'd have to practice it a little bit because it's new. But okay, so let's do Sound of Silence, and then we'll look for some more requests. How did that happen? How did I end up with a G sharp there? That was shocking. Okay. Does anyone have any clue how I ended up with a random G sharp lever up? When on earth did I put that up? What did I play just beforehand? And did it have a G sharp in it? Mary, did you know? That's so crazy. I got such a shock, especially since it was at the climax of that part of the piece. Hopefully I didn't disrupt you out of your relaxing evening moment, whoever it was that was about to go to bed. Suddenly I play a horrible G sharp in the middle of everything. Oh yeah, there are a couple of G sharps in Mary, did you know? Yep, near the end of Mary, did you know there's a G sharp? So it happens to the best of us. Sometimes if there's a sharp or flat or something in your piece and you're setting your key for the next song, you don't realize that there's a random G sharp in the middle of your harp. Oh, yeah. Oh, Teresa, it's so nice to see you popping in for a bit. You're at work, catching a few minutes. There will definitely be a replay. So this will be up afterwards. So if you have to pop off or you're not able to join for the whole thing, you can watch the rest later. Yeah, Ruth is saying it shows us that no matter how well we play, it happens to all of us. Very much so. I think particularly when it comes to random levers being up or down, it's very easy to have that happen to even a professional harpist. It really does happen so easily. So you just have to not take it too seriously. Yeah, and I don't know how many of you noticed. I'm sure you probably did, because I had a little chuckle in the very first piece I played, Beauty and the Beast. I made a mistake in like the third measure or something. These things happen, and if we don't attach our self-worth to perfection in our playing, then we can get to the point where it's okay. I can watch other people play and they can be perfect, and it's still okay if I'm not perfect. To me, it's better for me to be just a little bit more relaxed and for it to be a fun experience for everybody than to have me so worried about perfection that it just makes everybody feel a bit tense watching me. So yeah. Okay, Reggie, hi, good morning. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. So let's get some more song requests going. What do we want to do next? So yeah, Julie said she noticed that mistake in the first song because you reacted. I got such a surprise that I couldn't stop myself from having a little chuckle. But if I'd done nothing, if I hadn't shown it on my face, probably half of you wouldn't even notice. So that just shows you can make mistakes and still carry on. Oh, there we go. Strings of Elegant Jewels is asking for Fur Elise. Let's do that. So if you're wanting to request songs today, this live stream is on early intermediate arrangements from our Learning the Harp catalog. So that's why when people are making other requests, I'm not looking at those today. So if you want to make requests from the list of songs that we're considering, in the description box below this video, there's a list of all the early intermediate songs. I've got it at the beginning of my book here. So I'm just doing those arrangements today. But what was it that someone said? Fur Elise. Let's do that. I just thought it would be nice to inspire all the early intermediate harpists. I know that that's one of the biggest groups of, I think it is the biggest group. 50% of people who voted for songs in June said that they are at early intermediate level. But many people chose more than one level. So, for example, 42% of people said they wanted mid-intermediate arrangements. And then there were more people who said, 39% of people wanted late beginner. So it's not that half our people are early intermediate, but it is the most popular level. So I thought, why not do some inspiration for those people? And also for those of us who are more advanced, sometimes it's nice to just be able to play some arrangements that don't take as much practice. And so I wanted to give some inspiration that even pieces at this level can be really lovely for performing, playing for other people, and it can be really relaxing for both the harpist and the audience when there's just, not too many notes. It doesn't have to be too complicated to be beautiful. So, Marion Tomset said, I'm an early beginner. All of this is wonderful. Ah, that's so exciting. You're in the beginning of your journey with playing the harp. So wonderful. Well, you never know where you'll be this year, next time, and this time next year. Maybe you'll be playing one of these pieces, or maybe you'll be on the way there. Time flies when you're enjoying learning to play the harp. Before you know it, you'll be playing things a little further along. But also, even beginner pieces can be just so beautiful because of the sound of the harp. It's just such a lovely sound. Okay, here's Fur Elise. I'm not doing a very good job of hiding my mistakes today, am I? But there's some mistakes that you actually just can't hide, can you? Oh dear, I shouldn't be reacting like that. But you know what happened there was I meant to do my G lever change, and for some reason I did the D sharp. But there we go. Hopefully it was still nice to listen to. Jeannie saying that looks hard. Yeah, this is the second hardest of the early intermediate pieces. So it is a bit more difficult than some of the other ones I've been playing. But it's very repetitive. So the left hand 4-2-1 pattern is pretty much almost the only thing you're doing in the left hand. And you can play it slower than that. It doesn't have to be at that speed. There are quite a few lever changes, but there's plenty of time for it. So I think the most challenging part of that is so you really just spend a lot of time practicing. And then the lever change, and then you just have to remember to do the right lever change here. So that part is a little tricky. And then I find that I just need some reminders to remember to do, like which notes to play here in the right hand. Because these are all sevenths. Yeah, so I just need some reminders, like I need to practice it just a little bit to remind myself of which notes to do there, because it does come a little fast when I'm playing at that speed, to kind of notice those little notes happening there. But yeah, so maybe for some people, depending on what you find difficult, it's possible you might find that one a little harder than early intermediate, but we popped it just at the end there, to prepare you for mid-intermediate level. Oh, Annie's song. Teresa's asking for Annie's song. Someone did request it earlier, I noticed, and I read it out and then I didn't play it. So I think that's a good idea for me to play Annie's song. But let me see what else people are saying. Monberger is saying your video for Can't Help Falling in Love inspired me to purchase my 34-string Dusty Strings crescendo. That's lovely. I'm so glad. It's really wonderful when my videos can be a part of inspiring people that you can learn to play the harp. I started as an adult, and you can learn at any age. And as we're seeing today, that it can sound really lovely even when you're playing something that's not crazy complicated. So it doesn't have to take years and years and years for you to be able to play really beautifully on the harp and just enjoy it. And I think it can happen right from the start. Honestly, I think when you're first learning to play, the people around you are already going to enjoy the sound of the harp and you're going to enjoy playing it. Okay. Donald's saying it's reassuring when you make mistakes. You're so calm about it, and it reminds us to go easy on ourselves when we make mistakes. Yeah, I think that's part of what made it like being a little easier on yourself and not being too critical of yourself or harsh with yourself when you're learning and you're in the learning process. I think that was part of why I was able to progress quickly when I was learning to play the harp, because I was being kind to myself. I knew that part of practicing and learning new things is making mistakes, and it doesn't have to be perfect every time I play. I had that understanding of a lot of practice is focusing on the parts where you make mistakes and just going over and over it and trying to get yourself to the point where you make the mistakes less often. It's not about never playing a wrong note. So I think that freedom of just it being a positive experience allowed me to progress better, because we know that when we are very hard on ourselves and we say negative things like, oh man, I always get that wrong, or I'm so terrible, I should be getting this by now, it can actually make a real negative impact on how your brain learns. So I think if we can be a little bit kinder to ourselves when we're not perfect, surprise, surprise, it can even help with the learning process. Yep. So if you, that Nat Life is saying, yes, I'm so harsh with myself, I feel that's holding me back. Julie's saying, I get frustrated with myself when I go wrong. So yeah, I think that it might be worth reading some things about that, like Switch on Your Brain by Caroline Leaf speaks a little bit about this concept, and you can build new habits of thinking. So I have a couple of videos. I had a video from quite a while ago about toxic thoughts, and I gave some suggestions on you can actually write out for yourself some options of what you can say instead of the negative things you tend to say to yourself when you're practicing. And then when you don't be too hectic with yourself about saying the negative things either, because that's just a terrible cycle. When you say something negative to yourself, you're just like, oh, oops, I'm doing that again. And then you look at your list of things that you could say to yourself instead, like, I'm just going to keep on trying. It might sound a little silly to make it conscious like that, but I really think you can build a habit, build a new habit of saying kinder things to yourself. And I think it'll be worth practicing that too, and not only practicing the harp. It'll probably help in other areas of life too. Here's Annie's song. So that's actually an arrangement that isn't on our YouTube channel yet, because when we do 3 levels of a song for our courses, and we do 3 courses and all at different levels of the same song, then it would be a bit repetitive to put up 3 different levels of the song on YouTube. So we choose one level, and that's usually the most advanced level, because it's just fun to be inspired by the most interesting advanced arrangements. And so when we did Annie's song, we put up the late intermediate arrangement, but this is the early intermediate one. So it's quite nice to play that for you here on YouTube. And this is an arrangement by Carrie. So that's cool. That's the first one that I'm playing today that was by Carrie. Rosemary Boyd. Nice to see you. You say you miss our lessons. I miss seeing you. I miss seeing my students that I used to see every week. Life changes and we can't do everything, but I do miss you, and it's always nice to see a familiar name and remember all those good times. I'll be bringing my harpsichord to Ireland next month to play for my 5 grandchildren. That's amazing, Rosemary. Fantastic. Wow, that's so great. I think they're going to love that. And it's nice that it's a harpsichord, because I think children really feel a connection with the harpsichord because it's small and it doesn't feel overwhelming to them. So that's really lovely. Oh, Heidi says, I have my first lesson with Carrie today. Oh, I'm sure you're going to love it. Carrie's such a caring and sweet teacher. And she's really insightful, knowing what to help you with to make the most difference. Gracity is getting inspired to purchase Annie's song. Well, there's 3 levels. So there's the late intermediate, the early intermediate, and then the mid-beginner. So those who are beginners could also try out Annie's song. So yeah. Okay, so let's see what I should play next. Maybe I should choose one this time. Let's see. There's so many good ones. How are we supposed to choose? I think I might actually have to look back on what you're suggesting. We've already done. No, we didn't do Over the Rainbow. I was going to say we've already done it. Oh, YouTube's telling me that ads will run shortly for some viewers. Okay, so I might be cut out for a second. Maybe we should skip the ads. Let's do that. I don't want you to have to wait. That would be kind of strange. I'd have to be like, and in a moment, we'll go to the ads. Let's rather not do that. Okay, so let's do, I thought I'd done Over the Rainbow, but I think it was just because I was having a look at it earlier today. So let's do that. That's got some nice little lever changes there. Oh, 2 people are asking for Canon and D, so maybe I need to do that next. Jeanette's saying, I took some lessons with Carrie. She's a natural teacher. You'll enjoy. Yeah. And Carrie's the kind of person who really, like, you feel like, I think her students all feel like they're friends with her because she's just so genuine and sweet. Oh, did you have an ad, Julie? Okay. That's strange. I thought I stopped that. Anyway. Okay, let's try and make sure that I don't have the wrong levers for this one. We should be good. Here we go. So this is Over the Rainbow, early intermediate. Musical Marion says, I play this about 4 times slower. That's fine. I sometimes do fast versions of songs. There's no right or wrong speed for any song. And sometimes we think there's one way of singing a song, like we're used to hearing performers do it a particular way. And then someone comes out with a new version where they're singing at double the speed or half the speed. And suddenly it's like this new cover that everybody's so inspired and excited about. And it's like they're thinking differently and they're so creative. So even when we're used to hearing a song a particular way, there's no reason you can't play it like half that speed and just call it a musical interpretation, like a new version of the song. um, Leona is asking, what's your favorite piece to play? I don't know if I have a favorite piece to play. There is one song that I really like playing that's not one of my arrangements that I often come back to, but honestly, I need to put some practice into because I keep on forgetting it when I try to play it from memory. And that is Swan LK. What is the rest of the letters next to it? I can't remember. But there's a song, Swan something, by Katrina Mackay, which is just so beautiful. And I had it from memory, and then there's parts of it that have got a bit rusty. So I need to spend a bit of time practicing it again. But that's always one that I feel like playing when I sit down at the harp, but I need to go back and freshen it up again. Okay, so did I say I was going to play something else? I think oh yes, I said I was going to do Canon in D. And then after that, maybe we'll do one more. I might just choose one myself, but you can also give some suggestions. So it makes it a little easier for me to enjoy. Sweet. Kathy Lowe says, this has been so enjoyable listening to you play these arrangements. You can make even the simplest arrangements sound so lovely. Well, so can you, Kathy. I've seen you playing. I think sometimes when we're learning an instrument, it's really great to always be pushing forwards and learning new things and increasing our skills. But I think it's also great to just spend some time playing some things that sound beautiful and don't feel difficult for us to play. Because the sound of the harp is still so beautiful. You don't have to play complicated things. Jeanette's giving some nice compliments about my playing. Thank you. Yeah, this particular harp has lower string tension than what I'm used to with the pedal harp or the Ogden that I was playing before. So I've got some good finger strength from many years of playing harps with high string tension. So that might be part of it. But yeah, I think playing fluid is like working really well on getting some good placing and bracketing, but then also going beyond that to try and see, okay, sometimes I'm going to place just a little bit later. So the bracketing really and good placing gives us that solid foundation of being grounded on the strings and knowing how to connect everything. But then once we've got that really firmly down and our fingers know how to do that, then we move beyond that, and sometimes we place a little later just to allow the sound of the previous note to continue a little bit longer. So that's a good thing to start working on as you continue with your journey. Okay, so let's do Canon in D. So this is the early intermediate version of Canon in D. There's also a mid-intermediate one. And then we had like a build your own kind of arrangement where you get a whole lot of different variations and you can choose which ones you like or which ones are easy for you to play, because Canon in D often gets played at weddings. And I believe my approach to Canon in D is we don't need to pretend we're violins and play all the super complicated parts that feel a little I don't know, like a little tricky to play on the harp, especially if you're an intermediate harpist. So I think it's fine to play things like play variations of Canon in D that feel good on the harp. So I made some, some of these aren't in the original, all of them, some of them are just harpy versions of the chords. And then to choose the ones that just fit well and easily for you, because especially if you're going to play Canon in D at a wedding, it's often while the bride is walking up the aisle, and you need to be able to be on the lookout for when the bride comes and reaches the front, because often they want you to stop when the bride reaches the front. And if you're so busy playing like complicated arrangements and struggling and feeling very stressed, because it's a high pressure moment for a musician when the bride's walking up the aisle, because you really want to make sure it's good. That's quite an exposed moment to make mistakes. I feel we want to be relaxed and play things that feel easy for us. So that's why I gave all those different variations to choose from. So you can have a version of Canon in D that just feels good and easy for you if you're going to play at a wedding. And yeah, that's my approach to Canon and D. So this is the early intermediate version. I skipped the repeat. There was a repeat, so it would have been longer, but I thought, well, you don't need to hear that all over again. I'll just end it off there. Musical Marion saying it's often being recorded too. Yep, when you play for the processional, when the brides are walking up the aisle, that's for me one of the most nerve-wracking performances. And so I like to keep it simple. Okay, time to say goodbye. That's a good suggestion for the last one. And it's also an arrangement that's just so lovely. This is one that Carrie and I did together. So when Carrie's teaching video courses, how it works is she does the beginning of the arrangement, and then I contribute along the way. And sometimes I change, we discuss it and we change quite a few things. Sometimes there's not a lot of things that I change, and so it's mostly her. It's a different mix of how much Carrie and how much Christy Lynn it is each time. But this is a song that I've known for a very long time because having been a singer and done a lot of classical crossover kind of repertoire in my past, this is a song, if you're a soprano, that you probably know. Whereas for Carrie, it wasn't as familiar, this particular song. So it was fun to contribute to that and do it together. I also really like the advanced version of Time to Say Goodbye that we did together. That one I was very involved in. And I feel like we got to a very nice end result. So you can see that on the YouTube channel, the advanced version, Carrie playing it. But I'm going to play the early intermediate version. Catherine said, all your arrangements are so lovely, Chrissy Lynn. What a nice respite from hectic Thanksgiving holiday preparation. Oh, I'm sorry it's feeling hectic, Catherine. Yeah, I know there's a lot to do with these kind of family arrangements, so I'm glad this was a moment of respite for you. And Victoria, oh, hi, Victoria. Nice to see your name here as well. You just ordered Canon and D yesterday and beginning the video lesson today. That's wonderful. So enjoy it. Just choose the variations that you like, and you can make your own version if you want to. Okay, so this is going to be the last one for today. If you have any last comments or questions, I'll check in with that after playing, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay. Good thing I was just going to check whether my levers are right. They were not right at all, so that would have been a very interesting version of Time to Say Goodbye. I'm glad I caught it before you heard that. You might say goodbye a bit quicker if I play it with F and C levers. Okay. Aw, so lovely to have you all in the comments and be able to chat to you throughout this session. Karen Lewis, we in South Africa we say Karen, but Karen Lewis, I'm sure it is, says, I've been practicing my posture and hand position even though I don't have a harp yet. That's down to your recommendation. Yep, you can sit there and kind of get your arms in the right position and just start practicing plucking down into the palm. It's a great thing to be practicing. Your husband, like, is he laughing at you while you do it? Well, just showing the enthusiasm, and he'll be so happy for you when your harp arrives and he can hear what your harp playing sounds like. um, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining me and for this time that we spent together. So I'm going to do another one of these live streams in December. And actually, the plan is, I hope it works out, for me and Carrie to do a live stream together to end off the year. So I'll be on half the screen and Carrie will be on the half the screen. We won't be able to play songs literally together because of the delay when you're not in the same room, but we'll take turns playing probably mostly Christmas songs. So if that sounds nice, watch out for our email coming out about that. Make sure you're on our email list if you're not, so that you can hear when that next live stream happens, because I think that's going to be really fun to hear some Christmas songs. So we'll play the Learning the Harp Christmas songs, but we'll also play whichever Christmas songs Carrie and I normally play, because, you know, we do have some other songs in our repertoire that we would normally play around Christmas time. So I think that's going to be a fun way to end off the year on this YouTube channel. So thanks everyone for being here. And I still have a few mouthfuls of tea, which is now cold. So I don't think I'll sip that. I'll go and warm it up in the microwave. But thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you again next time. Sending lots of love. Hope the rest of your day or night goes well.